Welcome back to the Youth Rise podcast, a platform dedicated to empowering youth voices through diverse topics of passion. I'm your host, Queenie Gong, and today we're diving deep into the pros and cons of the rise in the digital age with Grace Park and Olivia Zhao. Grace and Olivia are rising seniors at Sentinel Secondary School in Vancouver, Canada. As they enter their final year of high school, both have witnessed and experienced much as teenagers regarding the benefits and negatives of digital accessibility. Join us as we perform a complete discovery of teenagers within the digital realm. We say it all, from digital tools such as Notion and Google Drive to profound mental health talks with each other. I'm so excited to have Grace and Olivia here with me today. So to get us started, how about both of you guys first introduce yourself to all the listeners? Share a little snippet of your life, hobbies, and other interesting things. Olivia, how about you start first?
Hi, I'm Olivia, a student heading into grade 12 at Sentinel Secondary this September. I enjoy hanging out with my cat, playing video games, and reading.
Hi, my name is Grace. I'm also a rising senior at Sentinel Secondary. I have a passion for science and raising awareness through my nonprofit related to chemiluminescence. Outside of my academics and extracurricular interests, I love to cook, bake, spend quality time with my friends, watch cat reels on Instagram, and I also enjoy getting outdoors and going to the gym.
Okay, so just diving straight into the topic of the day, we're going to touch base on the pros and cons of the digital age, especially among teenagers. I'm going to ask you a few questions just to get us started. And for initial impressions on this topic, how has growing up in the digital age shaped your overall experience as a student and a young person? So for this, how about Grace, you can start first.
Okay, so for me, growing up in the digital age has definitely shaped my experience in some unique ways. I feel as a student, having access to endless information at my fingertip has made learning more engaging and self-directed. I feel I can easily dive into topics I'm passionate about. For example, my nonprofit related to chemiluminescence, it refers back to forensic sciences, and I can stay connected with others who share similar interests. And social media and digital platforms have also given great chance to explore creative outlines and even start initiatives. Through that, I feel I'm able to share information and inspire others in ways that wouldn't have been possible without these digital tools.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Olivia?
Yeah, I guess I feel the same, but maybe a little bit different. I guess for me, growing up in the digital age, a lot of my connections were built upon video games and other online media. So when I was younger, I played a lot of free games with my brother. Then it was IO games, and then as I got older, I spent more time reading webcomics and other novels online.
Mm-hmm. And just on the top of my head, when Grace, you talked about the nonprofits, it came to my mind that actually these platforms are kind of designed in part for students, and I think nonprofits and especially student organizations have used these platforms in a way to kind of promote what they're doing. Yeah. And I feel that's a really great way as well, because if you want to really get outreach internationally, there's no other way other than social media. Mm-hmm. And then for Olivia as well, I think I totally agree with you on the aspect of growing up with access to video games or digital access. You can really connect, especially because if you have siblings, you'll hang out with them by playing video games. Yeah. Or other ways of just playing around with them. But yeah, so for today's podcast, I kind of have it split up into two sections. So we're going to first talk more about the positive side of the easy accessibility to technology, and then we'll touch more on the cons, so maybe the negative outlooks that people have for social media and other platforms. So just to begin, for the positive side, can you guys share some of the positive ways digital technology has enhanced your education and learning? So as rising seniors, what digital tools or apps do you find the most useful for your studies, and in what ways specifically do they support you? So Olivia, how about you start this one?
Yeah, so for me personally, browsers, Google and stuff, and sites like YouTube are usually my go-to sources for information. So for school research or anything like that. I guess the Google services have also been extremely helpful. So Google Docs, Slides, etc. And also I really like graphing services that are free and available online. So also Google Sheets and Vernier spectral analysis, especially for chemistry. My chemistry classes, myself and other chemistry students use it to like view lab results in an illustrated form, and it's just really helpful for understanding.
Yeah, and like for me, like I agree to Olivia, like Google platforms have like made like just like overall like schoolwork and collaborations like much easier too. Like for me, like I can access like vast amount like range of resources for like articles, videos, online resources, and like other related stuff towards academics, like right from my computer. And like I have a club with the Cairo Times newsletters. Like we use like sheets and like documents to work together, and like even though we're not in the same room, and like it's easy to like coordinate, edit, and like publish things like seamlessly, which really helped like with the progress of getting things done effectively too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Google Drive is definitely a key aspect in high school, especially for organizing the multitude of classes you're going to have, and also like extracurriculars, for example. So for anyone who's probably going into high school soon, that's a very key aspect for to have in your computer, of course. And then now moving on, we're going to talk more about like the connectivity of digital technology. So how has that helped you stay connected with your friends and family, especially during challenging times? So an example could be during the pandemic, where really no one could go outside of their house. So how was that a key part of your life during that time? Or another example could work as well if it's not COVID.
I feel like digital platforms like always been like absolutely crucial for like staying connected, like particularly during the pandemic, as you mentioned. I feel like video calls, FaceTimes, like group chats, like really helps like stay connected in like and maintaining relationships to keep in touch with like friends and family, even though like we couldn't be together in person. I think like little tools like Zooms and like obviously the FaceTime like apps, and like other like Discord you can call in, like even Instagram too you can call as well. Like these tools like really made it possible to like support like others and catch up with like your friends who are like far away, like not even just through the pandemic but overall like living through the like today. I think it's like incredibly like important.
What are your thoughts, Olivia?
Yeah, I'd like to add on that a little bit too, but I guess more about the pandemic. So like my family and extended family, grandparents and stuff were all in China like during the time of the pandemic, and it was like difficult for my family worrying about them and hoping that they are doing all right. But like the video calling through like WeChat and other video platforms like really made my parents reassured, knowing that my extended family and grandparents were doing all right.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. My extended family are all in China as well, or like in another part of not in Canada or Vancouver. So it's definitely a way to have face-to-face conversations with other people. And I think it's really crucial to stay in touch with your family and your other members who are very close to you. But now moving more so for for teenagers specifically, we did touch base on how Instagram or other social media platforms is kind of a networking platform as well, and it provides a lot of new opportunities for teenagers especially. So how do you think the rise in like the digital age has really opened up these new opportunities for you specifically to express your creativity or pursue your hobbies and other passions? So Olivia, how about you take this question first?
Alright, so on this topic, I guess recently I started a small gardening project to plant like some wheatgrass seeds for my cat. So like it's like cat grass, and it like promotes digestion and stuff. And being able to like thoroughly research the brands for soil, seeds, and containers was like really helpful because it boosted my confidence when purchasing and growing the plant. And being able to view like all the different gardening blogs online was like very fun too. And Grace?
For me, like when I'm like designing posters, logos, and like other visual contents, like I really enjoy using like tools online like Figma and Canva. Like they make it like really easy to create like eye-catching graphics for my clubs and like personal projects I do, and even like building websites for my nonprofit. Again, like I used WordPress, which was like great for setting up a site for and sharing my thoughts on topics like I'm passionate about. Like I feel like when it comes to like my like hobbies as well, like cooking and baking, like I find so many inspirations on platforms like Instagram and TikTok. They offer like a ton of different recipes and like ideas, which is like perfect for trying out new dishes and recipes.
What was a new recipe you recently tried out?
I recently tried out matcha white chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
really good. Was it a success?
Yeah, it was a success.
Oh, okay. Very good. Now, moving on, how has the instant access to information and news benefited you in understanding global events or your personal interest? So, we understand that, like, on Instagram, there's a lot of posts that go on about global issues or stuff that's going around globally around the world. So, what are your thoughts on that aspect?
So it's like I think it's like incredibly beneficial. Like having instant access to like information means like we can like stay up to date with like what's happening around the world in real time, whether it's like global events as you said or like any discoveries or social issues. Like I think
Yeah, I'd like to add a bit more onto that. So like keeping up news is like incredibly important. Like keeping up the recent Israel and Hamas conflict. Like my genocide class at school covered the events as we progressed through the year, and we covered like many different perspectives. So from both Israel, Hamas, and even like the Palestine side of the story. And I find that it's important to remain sensitive around controversial and topics like this, as many individuals tend to feel strongly about these topics. And I feel like the instant access to information really helps support that.
yeah, like this like really like I think it really broadened like my perspective on like how it helped me understand how connected we all are. Like if I want to learn like again like a new recipe or like to find more about a hobby, like the information's just always right there, and the instant access just always makes it easier to explore, learn, and like stay informed on things like that matter around me.
And like I recently saw that on like Instagram specifically, because that's the main platform that I use, that some news are banned in like from other countries are banned in Canada.
Really?
For example, like US news because of the election is sometimes banned, or sometimes more controversial news. So like, do you think these restrictions are purposely made for like the suppression of teenage voices, or what are your kind of thoughts about these restrictions that are made for the that touch base on like this instant access that we should have to this information?
Well, I mean, I actually did not know that there was a restriction on like for Canada.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, but that sounds kind of dystopian.
Yeah, it really
No,
does.
it's because like I'm not too sure, maybe I'm wrong, but I remember looking up like something and it said not available in your country.
Oh.
So it was like something about the news. I was just very interested in understanding more about the blockage that's going on in Instagram, because I think it's probably something political or global, something sensitive that's going on. But it's totally understandable if you guys don't understand too much about that currently, because it is just the news and you can probably find more information through Google search. But we did touch base already on a lot of the positive sides of technology and social media. But now segueing into now the more negative aspects, it's quite a well-known fact that technology, including these networking platforms, can often be misused, especially by teenagers, and this leads to a very strong negative outlook for them. So do you ever feel overwhelmed by the amount of content that is available online? And if so, how do you manage to filter through it all and manage it?
Yeah, like I think I definitely like absolutely like do feel overwhelmed time to time. Like I feel like the sheer volume of like content available can make it like really challenging to find like what's truly relevant. Like I feel like to manage it, like I try to like be selective about like the sources I follow, and like use tools to help like filter and organize information, especially like when it comes to academics. For instance, like I would use like news aggregators to like get updates on like specific topics, and like set boundaries on like how much like time I spent on social media, and like that prioritizes like my goals and like focusing on like what aligns with my interests and needs. And it also like helps me stay like grounded and like make the most of like digital resources available without getting too overwhelmed.
Yeah, and I guess like my response isn't really about the negative aspect, but I just want to say sometimes when I'm doing research for school projects, like there's just sometimes so many sources and it can be overwhelming trying to look through all of them. And I find that just going through them briefly and removing repetitive or unrelated ones is like pretty helpful.
Yeah, I agree with what both of you guys said. So are there any concerns in regard to like the maybe for technology and specifically like regarding the privacy and the data security online? And because like for example social media and networking platforms, you really put a lot of your personal information and kind of people some people enjoy to share a lot about their life while others for example they like to keep it more private. But how do you think this overall like how do you think these platforms protect your personal information? Do you think it's quite secure or do you have some mixed feelings about it?
Well, obviously, I think most people know that social media sites aren't the most secure. Like
Digital footprints.
different digital footprints, everything leaves a mark. So you should be careful, like, about what you put online, because like one of my biggest concerns is just getting private information leaked, like credit card information or like getting your identity stolen. And I guess one tip I have for this is just like rejecting all the cookies whenever you visit a new website. Like it's something small, but it'll help.
Wait, but I accept all
Yeah,
of them.
me too.
No, you should reject them because like they'll like track you and stuff.
Oh,
Wait, hold on.
What do cookies mean?
I thought it was good.
Well, but sometimes like when it doesn't allow me to reject.
Yeah.
No, you can click like the strictly necessary cookies.
Oh,
Because
okay.
then they'll like, I think they take information for like advertising and stuff. Like,
Oh,
cookies-
is that how they like make the algorithms?
I don't know, but like,
Because like for example, if I go on like a shopping site and I look at clothes, and then on my Instagram ads will pop up of the clothes I just looked
Yeah,
at.
me too.
How does that work? Is that the cookies?
I honestly don't know. Okay, I don't know that much about
Wait,
cookies.
but cookies like sound good. Like wow.
No, it's
They
not
don't?
actual cookies.
I
It's
know,
like
but like it makes it sound good. Like it feels like I'm like
accepting something,
yeah,
you're getting
accepting-
something
yeah,
out of it.
exactly.
I'm pretty sure it's just like opening up information for them.
Oh wow.
Because
didn't know
I feel like I have heard that it's bad.
that. Yeah, I think like privacy and data securities are like definitely like big concerns for me too. Like I agree with Olivia. So much like personal informations are shared online, and like it's so crucial to be vigilant. Like I think probably the biggest concerns are like including like risk of data breaches, identity theft, and unauthorized like access to personal information. Like I've also been like hacked on Instagram before. Like the hacker had like already gotten into someone's like account that I knew, and like asked for a link that I received through like iMessage, and like what that like to vote for like an art piece. But I think what that was, it was like
Like a
it was
link
like a
to-
link to like my changing my password or like like
Yeah,
direct
it's definitely,
access to
yeah.
my account. But like I was like pretty innocent, so I didn't like I just gave it over without like thinking
Yeah.
through it too much.
So now moving on to more so, I guess this is specific for like young adults, teenagers, but maybe also some adults face this nowadays. But how does spending a lot of time on digital devices affect your mental health? So Grace, how about you start this one?
Okay. Yeah, spending time like on digital devices definitely like impacts a lot of mental health. Like I've noticed that like excess screen time can lead to like feelings of like burnouts and like increased stress sometimes. And like it even like and most of the time actually disturbs my sleep patterns. Spending a lot of time on like digital devices like can like affect my mental health like in several ways. Like I think Olivia would also agree to this, but like my interest in gaming and like scrolling through like TikToks or like Instagram reels like have like shown me like how digital like activities like can affect dopamine levels, and like games and like short video contents are like designed to be highly engaging, which can lead to like dopamine spikes and like make them quite addictive. Like while like this like it does bring enjoyment like time to time, but I think it's like also like it also really contributes to like excess screen time, which affects my mood and productivity.
Yeah, like doom scrolling, not a good thing. I mean, like, there's just so much content that you go through that even though you're just lying there and not doing much, it's pretty draining. And yeah, it can be hard to get other work done.
Yeah, I agree with that as well as a fellow teenager. And do you think there's like an unrealistic image of a perfect life on these platforms?
Definitely.
And it's bad for like young children or like people who are kind of in the age where they don't understand that not everyone's life has to be perfect. And I think that kind of has a negative effect on a few people as they grow up and realize that they can't really achieve what they see on social media.
Yeah. I feel like it's like really negative because like what they show us is like only like snippets, like cutscenes of like what they actually have, and like most of the people who like are viral and we see like are like people who are actually like able to afford those things, and people are just comparing themselves with like what we can't achieve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that like as someone who doesn't go out that much, like sometimes when I see like Instagram stories of like people posting every day, like maybe like 10 pictures every day, it's just like, I guess it just shows like a unreal like image of like an expectation that really shouldn't be there or like apply to me. And like, but I guess like after a while, you know, I've come to accept that, you know, like my life would just be a bit different.
Yeah, I think that's really healthy.
That's a good mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of conformity going around in social media. People really want to conform to the trend or what's going on in social media.
FOMO.
Yeah, I am personally a victim of FOMO.
Me too.
Yeah, it's not like anything. I feel like it's natural. It's just like you kind of want to stay up with what's going on.
Yeah.
And you want to be up to date with everything, like fun or funny.
Yeah. And I feel like it really like impacts our like generation too. Like when I compare myself, or I feel like our age, like 07s, at the time when we were elementary schoolers, like I feel like we all dress like pretty like similar, like all leggings, like all hoodies, like you know, like
true.
but like no makeup. Like I don't think I've like heard anyone wearing makeup. Like I don't remember anyone wearing makeup in elementary schools or anything. But now I see like grade 5s, grade 6s walking around Park Royal wearing tank tops, like shopping at Ritzia, like
Sephora.
Yeah, Sephora. Like I see like so
Sephora
many
babies.
kids in like Sephora. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it definitely has changed because I was very like young, but in my brother's generation, like everyone in high school was not really on their phones that much. Like he personally was not, like he would just watch like movies, but like no one has the attention span now to watch movies. They only scroll like TikTok or like 30-second shorts. And yeah, and especially in elementary school, I look now and I look at the way people like dress or how they want to be perceived, and it's just totally different because I used to wear graphic shirts when I was when I was very young.
We've all known each other since we were like grade 3.
Yeah.
But like I feel like things have changed so much.
Definitely has. But I guess it's natural because of like the evolution of technology and just how accessible it is. Well, it's not accessible everywhere in the world, but it's very accessible where we live in Canada. And I think something I probably would do if like I have children is not give them their phone or like technology that early on in their life.
Yeah.
Because
I had my first phone in grade like 7.
Yeah, no iPad kids, right?
Yeah, iPad kids.
Oh my god, I did not have an iPad, but like I remember I had like my dad's old phone when I was only in like grade 5, and that's how I started like sleeping really late because I would just be on my phone for like 3 hours at night all the way till like 12 a.m. But like I used to, like I don't remember the last time I went to bed without my phone in my hand.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, like I have done it like maybe once, but it's like I've done it so often with my phone, so it's very tiring for me to go to bed with my phone. But yeah. Now moving more so back to the academic side, you talked a lot about tools and other ways that like your computer or your devices help you stay on task for your schoolwork. But there's of course many distractions that come with it. So how do you try to stay focused on your academic task and other responsibilities with these many distractions that are available on these devices?
I mean, like, well, obviously for me, you know, most distracting things are like notifications. So what I find really helpful is just either putting your phone in another room or like just on the opposite side, and then keeping on do not disturb, so no notifications that you will see, and also with like a ringer. But like sometimes if like, I don't know, you're too lazy to put your phone on the other side of the room, like flipping it over, it also helps a lot.
Yeah, I agree with Olivia on this. Like I would, like if I really need to focus, like putting it on do not disturb is like really useful. But like creating a like dedicated study environment also is like really important. Like I make sure like every like my workspace isn't like it's like organized, like it's like free from unnecessary digital distractions. Like I use like Notion to like keep my to-do list, stay on tasks to do my assignments, and like if let's say if I finish one assignment, like maybe I'll give myself like a little break for like 5 to 10 minutes on my phone, and then like I'll set a timer too, so I'll like get off on my phone. But I feel like having breaks on it is like important, but to like stay like focused, like personally it works for me. Like if I want to focus, I'll stay focused, but if it doesn't work for you, I don't think like taking breaks on your like phone is crucial.
Yeah, I think sometimes people say like the break should not be like on devices, maybe like go outdoors or like do something else that's more active, like maybe stand up from your chair and like walk around, go to the washroom, go get something to eat or something like that. But actually I really like when you talked about Notion, because I personally also use Notion, and it's kind of fun to have that platform on that helps you organize things, because you can like decorate it to your own liking, and it's like very customizable, and I think it's a great like way to stay organized and stay on task. Do you use Notion, Olivia?
No.
Okay.
She just got everything in her head.
No, you know the Google Classroom like to-do button, and you click it and then you see all like the assignments.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I look at.
Yeah, I think to-do lists are definitely a strong point. And also when you talked about like having a clean workspace, one that really helps you learn, I think I learned that kind of the hard way, like literally
No,
for like
don't worry, me too.
like for the first 3 years, literally I'm a pretty messy person, so I kind of didn't have a good workspace, and I kind of used that as a way to procrastinate. I would say I would just be like, oh, it's not clean, I don't really want to work. But then recently I actually kind of upgraded my workspace and spent some time cleaning it up, and I think it definitely helps you to stay more focused and more productive. You feel a lot better about yourself when you're working. Yeah. Well, we talked both about the pros and the cons of the digital life, and there's definitely like a lot to say about both sides of it. And a lot of people will kind of wonder, should we really balance digital life or kind of battle it in the way of suppressing it and making it less accessible? So what are your beliefs on this aspect? And how do you believe you can strike a balance between maintaining your social life online and also managing your academic and other responsibilities? Grace, you go first.
Okay. Balancing social life like online with academic responsibilities is really tricky. Like as we just talked about, like having like a to-do list with outlines like for the due dates for the assignments when they're due, or like when I have assessments coming up, like it helps me like stay organized, like ensures that like I allocate like dedicated time for studying and like completing assignments. But it does get hard time to time, so like what we discussed it on like how to handle like distractions from digital devices, trying to stay focused on academic tasks and like responsibilities. I think it's like good to like go on do not disturb, make sure there are no distractions around you. If you're prone to distractions and procrastinations, then like maybe like put your phone in like a different room to like stay away from the distractions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to add.
That's totally fine. I think Grace really touched base on a lot of the things that are necessary in creating a balance. And just to finally conclude our podcast today, what changes or improvements would you really like to see in how digital technology is integrated into the daily life of teenagers and education in the future? Do you think like further restrictions are needed, or do you believe that it's more so important for people to find that balance like we just talked about?
I mean, currently, I don't really have any ideas for like the future integration of technology, but obviously, you know, with ChatGPT and like other AI generated forms of work, you know, I think there should be like some degree of control and education around those two like forms of like, you know, AI work, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. Like I think in education, like I want to see like more emphasis on using technology to foster interactive like and personalized learning experiences, but like some like to an extent, like tools that adapt to like different learning styles and pace, like along with like more collaborative platforms, like it could really like enhance like how we engage like with subjects and like stay connected with like your friends and stuff. But like integrating like more real world applications and like hands-on digital like experiences could like make learning more relevant and impactful.
Yeah, when you talked about AI, Olivia, I kind of agreed a bit about it. I think like AI, especially in school, like ChatGPT is it could be a very useful tool for like idea generation and like just
Yeah.
coming up with ideas, but of course it's misused for a lot of people. And maybe there's a way to kind of restrict that in schools, just having it for ideas rather than for like whole just like text generation. But yeah, that's a really cool thing to think about for the future.
Yeah, like not saying AI should be like removed from schools, because obviously that's gonna be like a huge part in like, I guess like
Yeah.
virtually all of the future careers, right? Because AI is just advancing at like extremely fast pace.
And like I think we all use it. Like I think we all use it to like try to like have like a little like short research on it, and like if it asks, like if you have a like simple question that you can't find online, then you can just ask and it'll answer for you. I think that's really useful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
makes
makes
that like filling in the holes.
yeah, that's a good way to think about it. But yeah, we talked a lot about like digital life today, and I want to thank both of you guys so much for coming and sharing your own personal stories, experiences, and you gave also a multitude of tips to kind of balance the digital life with like your daily and like the real life. So do you guys have any closing or last words?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think this is a really good opportunity to like really get into roots about like digital technology and all the positives and the negatives, because I feel like we all know it in our head, but we don't like, we never actually discuss it to like really like realize what's happening. But
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you guys so much, and thank you also to all the listeners today.